Boy, oh boy. So, I want to try to go into this. I want to talk about the Matrix, okay? Now, I know the Matrix has been beaten like a dead horse or whatever. What's that saying? Beating a dead horse. Anyways, we're going to beat the dead horse anyway. So, it was a question I wanted to pose. Okay. And let me first I'll pose the question, then we'll kind of go back and explore, this question, why I'm asking this question. The question is, why did Neo trust Morpheus? And it really doesn't go into explaining that, so Morpheus proposed this this thing to Neo. It's like, this is the real world. You've been living in a dream world. Okay. But how did Neo get to the point where he was able to trust Morpheus enough to allow Morpheus to propose this to him, that Neo's just been living in a dream world? He's been living in a dream world. So then you have to go back, and so they don't really do a thorough backstory, and it's a long movie, so they can only show so much. But what we do know is that Neo had been searching for Morpheus for a long time. Like, Neo had been searching for Morpheus for a very long time, and Neo was already questioning the reality. That's why he was searching for Neo. That's why he was searching for Morpheus. Neo had already come to somewhat of a realization that he's being bullshitted. That there is something else going on. And that also that excuse me. So Neo already had some idea that there was something else going on, and that this mundane existence is all bullshit. It's all just a big facade. So Neo already had these suspicions and had been searching for Morpheus for like years. He would just be exhaustively fucking scouring the internet in search of Morpheus for years. This is what the story implies. So the question is, why would Neo have more trust in Morpheus, someone he's never even met, than in the reality that he was led to believe he existed in? Why would he trust Morpheus, someone he's never even met? And so then we can only assume that he just had a hunch that he believed that the pursuit of Morpheus was worth the risk. That even though Morpheus could just be bullshit, he was pretty determined to find Morpheus because he had been somewhat convinced. Okay? And so, but he never met him. So then when he meets Morpheus, Morpheus tells him he's been living in a dream world. And then offers Morpheus, or offers Neo, the choice. You can either trust me enough to let me show you, or you can just go back to whatever. Here, this is your choice. You can either allow me to show you, or you can just go, do whatever you want. So what led Neo to cross that threshold and agree, like, okay, I'll let Morpheus show me this thing, and I don't really know what I'm getting into, but I'm going to take this risk and take this red pill that symbolizes I'm going to be led by Morpheus. I'm going to allow Morpheus to lead me into this thing that he's talking about. Why didn't Neo just refuse to take either pill and just like say, fuck this, I don't know, this is too weird? We don't really know. The only thing that we can conclude is that Neo was seeking the truth, which was outlined in the scene with Trinity, when Trinity's like, it's not Morpheus. It's the what does she say in the club? She's like, it's the truth. Something about that. It's the something that drives us. I think she said the truth that drives us. And then Neo's like, what truth? And she goes, oh, it's the question. She said, it's the question. It's not really Morpheus you're looking for. It's the question that drives us. And Neo's like, what is the question? And she's like, you know the question just as I did. It's not Morpheus, right? And so this stuff is kind of explained. This makes me want to watch the movie again, and I've seen it a ton of times. But so it wasn't really Morpheus that Neo is looking for. It's the question. What is the Matrix? Right? And then when Trinity takes Neo to Morpheus, then Morpheus explains the Matrix. And basically what the Matrix is that you are a slave, born into a prison that you cannot touch, taste, see, or smell. A slave, you're a prison for your mind, that you are a slave. And then that's when Morpheus offers the choice, where he's like, I can either show you, you can agree to allow me to show you, or you can kick rocks. Either way is fine with me, but this is your last chance. I'll show you. If you want, I'll show you. But if you don't, that's it. I'm moving on. And then so it was the question that drove Neo to Morpheus. And the question and what it really was is the truth about the Matrix. Neo wanted to know that. And so to him, it was worth the risk. It was worth the risk. But see, how did Neo know that Morpheus wasn't just more bullshit like everything else? Well, he didn't know. And so, but he agreed, okay, this could just be more bullshit, but I'll go ahead. Well, so in a sense, it's like he was desperate enough to find out the truth that he was willing to take the risk with Morpheus. He was willing to take the risk. Because, well, and really when you look at it, like, there really isn't that much risk to it because he already knows everything else is bullshit. So if Neo has pretty much concluded that everything is like bullshit, which is why he's searching Morpheus, and then Morpheus gives him the choice, well, I can either show you what we've discovered, or you can just assume I'm just more bullshit and go back to the bullshit. So in a sense, Neo didn't really have anything to lose because he already knew everything was bullshit. And so if Morpheus was just more bullshit, well, that's no different. What difference is there? He's going to go back to the bullshit or Morpheus. And if Morpheus is bullshit, well, it's no different than taking the blue pill then, So he decides, okay, I'll try this. We'll see. So, and so that's what I'm saying about the steps. When I'm talking about the 12 steps of recovery and shit, that's what it requires. Like, if you want to investigate, if you if you're suspicious that the 12 steps is just Freemasonry, it's just more bullshit, it's just more Freemasonry and more Illuminati shit and more of all this stuff, well, then, then you can just go back to everything else is Freemasonry anyways. When are you ever going to find anything that isn't bullshit? Everything is just Freemasonry and bullshit. Everything is Illuminati and Freemasonry, and everything is just bullshit. So what do you really have to lose to do the steps? Because everything is bullshit anyways. Or if there isn't bullshit, well, what is it? Name something that isn't bullshit. Like, it's all bullshit. And so that's what Morpheus is saying. Like, you've been living in bullshit. You've been living in a big pile of bullshit. You've been living in a dream world. Well, that's what the 12 steps is saying. You've been living in a dream world. Like, and so you can just keep living in this dream world of bullshit, or you can do the steps. Do the steps. Because if the steps is just bullshit, well, it's no different than what you're going through anyways. Everything is bullshit. And so that's what the steps is like Morpheus. That's Morpheus saying you can the steps are a proverbial red pill that's being offered. And if you and it's just a choice. It's there for people to choose. Just like Morpheus offered the choice to Neo. You can try this 12 steps, or you can just go back to whatever. Like, whatever. See, that's what the 12 steps is like, is an offer of an option. Is like, here's something. And the 12 steps is the same thing as Morpheus. Like, you've been living in a dream world. And so, people that do the steps are so desperate because they've discovered that everything is bullshit, and they're looking for a way out, and so they're out of desperation. A lot of times, most of the time, it's out of desperation, because when you realize everything is bullshit, where is there left to go? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, if you realize that everything is just a bunch of bullshit, Freemasonry and Illuminati and all this and that, well, where is there to go? If you've found some place to go to find respite from all the bullshit, well, good for you. And then you don't need the steps. You don't need the 12 steps. You've already found a solution. The 12 steps is never claimed to be the solution. It has always only presented itself as a solution, as an answer, not the answer. 12 steps has never claimed itself to be the answer, but the 12 steps presents itself as an answer. So if you've already found an answer, well, then you don't need the 12 steps. Do them if you want or don't. Like, and really, it isn't for people that need them. It's for people that want them. It's for people that haven't found an answer. And that's what the 12 steps are. This is an answer. So you can, but see, it requires something of you. It requires you to actually do the steps. Because if you don't do the steps, then the answer is in doing the steps. That's where the answer is. It is not the answer, it is an answer. This answer, though, is in doing the steps. And so that's really like what Neo is admitting, is consenting to doing the steps in a proverbial sense, where he's like, okay, yeah, what do I do now? Okay, well, we're going to plug. First, we're going to have to fucking take all these plugs out of your body. You've got plugs. First, we have to unplug you and flush you down the proverbial toilet. And so then Neo goes down the proverbial toilet. Then they have to pull him out of the sewer And then so it's a lot of pain. Like he's suffering. Neo has to suffer a bunch. And so then there's all this suffering to pull him out of the sewer and then to pull all the plugs out of him. So it's this long process of deprogramming him. And it's grueling and pain. You can watch the movie and see that it's not just like he's blasting off on DMT and it's this wonderful, exciting, orgasmic experience. No, he's suffering. Neo is suffering. He's getting unplugged, flushed down the toilet, into the sewer. Then they have to pull him out of the sewer. Then they have to lay him on the bed. And they have to take all this time and care to tending to all his wounds. And he's just laying there completely helpless. Neo is completely helpless to Morpheus and the crew of the Nebuchadnezzar. This is all based in reality. This is reality. This is reality. If you want the truth, it's not by blasting off on DMT and having some orgasmic experiences of hippie trippy orgasms and shit. It's like suffering. You suffer. You're flushed down the toilet. You fucking stuck in the sewer. Someone outside of yourself has to pull you out of the sewer, and then someone out, not yourself, someone else has to lay you on the table and start fucking pulling out all these plugs that have been injected into your body, and you got all these plugs, and they have to do all this work to save you. And so you're relying on all these people. Neo had to rely on Morpheus and all these people to help him unplug him. Okay? And then when Neo had enough strength, he's still in what appears to be a jail cell, wearing what appears to be fucking tattered jail clothes. So he's not like living the Vida Loca. He's suffering. And then Morpheus comes to him and says, "Let me show you. Now I think you're ready." And he plugs the shit into the back of his head and shows him. And he's like, you've been living in a dream world. Look at this is what we're told to believe. We're in this is the 20th century, and all this is what we're told to believe. This is what we're expected to believe is reality. And then he looks at Neo and he says, "Well, you've been living in a dream world." And then he's like, "Welcome to the desert of the real." Right? And he shows him all this shit, and then Neo's like practically fucking snaps. He's like, "Fuck you. Fuck this." See? And that's the point. That's where he gets to where he distrusts Morpheus. He distrusts Morpheus and as much as he distrusts the world. So like he was seeking Morpheus. He was seeking Morpheus. He was seeking an answer to the question, what is the Matrix? He was seeking an answer. Then when he's given the answer, he distrusts it. And he's like, "No, fuck this. Fuck you. Get me out of here. I don't want no more to do with this. Get me out of here." And then Cypher's like, he's gonna pop. He's just another one that's gonna pop. Another one of these motherfuckers is just gonna pop. Dude, this is all a perfectly illustrated analogy of the 12 steps. This is exactly what this is all about. I mean, again, the steps is an answer. It has never proclaimed itself to be the answer. If you already have found the answer, fine. You don't need it. Maybe you might want to explore it anyways, just to see. But I'm telling you, this is what the steps are all about. Everything about it is this. And so again, I'm going to argue, like, people that think that the 12 steps is Illuminati and the 12 steps is Freemasonry and all this shit, you have to do the steps first. That's how scientists prove their theories, is by attempting to disprove them. Putting shit to the acid test. If I have some theory that, this lighter isn't real and this flame isn't real, I have to put my theory to the test. How do I put my theory to the test? By proving whether my theory is right or wrong. So if my theory is that this isn't real, Well, you know how you test it? Is I'll put my hand to the flame. Okay? No. See, my theory's wrong. So if your theory is that the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous is all Luciferian, Illuminati, Freemasonry, it's all the same as all this other bullshit, it's just more bullshit, you have to put your theory to the acid test to prove it. Unless you don't care about the truth and you just want to do whatever you want. Same thing. Put it to the acid test. Or just do whatever you want. If you're going to claim that the 12 steps are just Freemasonry, or they're just bullshit, or they're Illuminati, or they're just, you either put it to the test or just go do whatever you want. Just keep saying whatever you want and believe whatever you want to believe. You can take the blue pill and just believe whatever you want to believe. Or you could take the red pill and I can show you how deep the 12-step rabbit hole goes.